Hello, welcome to my video. In this video, if you watched my last video, I showed an eco version of this BO, and now this time I'm gonna be showing you guys another variation, which is the all-in rush BO. This BO is, I think it's from Nexus. He's the first one to use it. I don't really know of a better one, but I think it's like the fastest way you can get the fastest air timing in this particular slot. It's way harder to replicate than the last one. Maybe it's just because I'm used to the last one. But like I'm gonna be showing you guys how to do it. So like for the first 5 or 6 minutes, overall the build is very similar. There's not a lot of differences. What I'm gonna be watching here is the exact same replica of the last video that I showed. There's gonna be a different adjustments, some different stuff. Well, let's see what happens. Okay, guys, I found out the reason why I was stalling last video. It was because of those trees. When those trees break, this build no longer works and you stall energy. You need those two trees to be able to manage this BO without stalling. It's kind of fortunate because it's kind of a random thing where in some games those trees are not gonna break. In some games they're gonna break. You can tell they're broken by checking, like, you see how they're less dark, more, I don't know how to, less detailed. You can kind of tell they are broken. So I have to like reclaim some extra trees before expanding. But let's get to the topic of this video, which is, I'm gonna try to zoom less. It's very hard for me because it's a habit that I have since forever. It's something that I just do. It's very hard to get rid of this. I know it's painful experience for the viewers, but guys, it's something that, I don't know. I'm gonna try my best to zoom as least as possible. I'm gonna pause some parts here in case I screw up my BO. It's not like I want to show a half-assed BO. I want to show like a good one, I don't want to pull off a BO with like, you know. Uh, you know, I want to make sure everything's perfect, basically. Can't can't make too many mistakes here. Basically, in this video, I'm just gonna show the very fast rush BO. The time you should aim for is at least, no, the time you should aim for is 8 minutes and 30. Any earlier than that and you're a god at the game. Usually in a standard air eco BO, you're gonna have like at like 10 minutes, like between 9:30 and 10 minutes. In this air BO variation though, you get the attack free air timing 1 minute earlier. So like way faster than usual. But you get way less maxes in compensation, you get like way less tech to maxes and less energy income overall, Just kinda a little bit less of everything. Just for the fast air timing. It's kind of an all-in tactic where if it fails, you're pretty much gonna lose the game. Because you're gonna be way behind in air. Because if you assume your air player went for a very fast Eco BO, for a standard Eco BO version, you went for the air rush BO and you failed the air rush, you're gonna be always behind of him in Eco and production just because he's gonna have way more than you in every single regard. So no. So this is a very risky BO, very hard to properly follow, And if you screw it up once, it's bad news for you. So if you're gonna do this in the future, make sure you know what you're doing. I already made a mistake here, but it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. You can see the first thing I'm doing is already sending all my engineers to assist my ACU. I'm not really sending my engineers to further expand and reclaim trees. I have to prioritize rushing the pigeons in order to make a fast tech-free air factory and so on. This BL, from what I recall, has a very complicated part. I'm also not used to do this BL, so it's obviously not gonna be perfect. But I'm gonna try to explain the complicated part. Like there's a very complex thing about this BL that you have to do it perfectly, otherwise your BL is gonna come out not the way it was supposed to come out. Like you can see already a lot of mistakes here. The pathfinding is messing up with everything. I'm already overflowing a lot of mass. That's not supposed to happen. Let's see here. So one thing about this BL is that you cannot manage to stall energy. And in order to avoid that, you have to delay your maxes as much as possible as you can. If you're gonna stall energy, you just gotta pause your maxes. You gotta invest everything into your air factory. Now you can see my energy is back to normal, but I sacrifice my max timings for fast air. If I ever get close to overflowing again, I can just unpause my maxes, and that way, I don't really risk myself to I don't risk myself of overflowing and having my engineers stop reclaiming. So you can see my mass bar is going back to full, but the reason why I'm not unpausing the engineers is because I don't want to overflow energy. And I don't want to stall energy is what I mean. Now, when I go back to full, I unpause everything. It's very, very hard to pull this off because you can easily overflow your energy and mass, especially when your Tech 2 RHQ finishes. When the RHQ finishes, you're quickly gonna overflow bulk base energy. And that's the time you wanna unpause your maxes to make sure you prevent that from happening. Now you can see my mass bar is looking good. You can see I unpause essentially almost all of my maxes, even though that's not what I want to do, but it's just to be able to expand my mass. Let's see. Now that I make the pigeon, now I can pause my maxes and everything can go back to normal. Okay, so the thing about this RBO is that you only do the Tech 3 HQ with one pigeon only. And where does the extra power come from? If you don't make a second power, you're gonna store energy. So where do you make the second pigeon? Where does the energy come from? From the trees. You have to use the trees to be able to afford this Tech 3 HQ without stalling. You have to make the most use of the energy as much as you can without stalling energy. This is why it's kind of hard, because you have to perfectly micro engineers one by one without stalling energy. You can see I was already stalling there for a second, and now you can see I'm able to make the Tech 3 HQ without stalling. You can see I'm negative, but because of the trees, it allows me to, do it without stalling. Plus, I'm not making a lot of maxes, so I'm not spending a lot of energy. Okay, another thing is it's very important that you make This is one thing Nexus does, and I kind of like this, is you make those storages before the tech free pigeon. The tech free pigeon is gonna go here. You make the storage adjacent to the pigeon. There are two reasons for that. The main reason is when you finish the tech free HQ, the same as when I finish the tech 2 HQ, my mass energy is gonna insta fill up. In order to prevent that from happening, what I can do is I can increase my energy bar so that it takes longer for my energy to fill up, and I'm gonna have more energy for myself, and I'm not gonna be wasting power. So like, and that extra power that I have, it's gonna be used for the tech free pigeon, if that made any sense. It's hard to explain this, guys. Like, you're about to see. I'm gonna explain once it finishes. It's gonna be way easier to explain you guys how this works. Upgrade your maxes slowly. It's fine to overflow mass because I don't have the energy, so I cannot afford to use my mass. But the purpose of this is just not to perfectly have a balance, perfectly equal balance, but it's just to rush your RBO. That's the point of this video. It's not to be perfect equal-wise. You're gonna be overflowing mass all the time. It's not an issue though. It's not something you can avoid. Okay, you can see when HQ is finished, you can see how my energy is rapidly starting to fill up. But because I have those energy bar storages, it makes filling up the energy bar harder. It's gonna take longer, and by taking longer to fill up, it's gonna allow my engines to keep reclaiming the trees because I'm not gonna overflow. And by the time the energy bar fills up, I'm gonna be making the tech free pigeon. And I'm gonna be able to make the tech free pigeon without overflowing. My engines are not gonna stop reclaiming, and the extra 24 mass energy that I have in my bar is gonna be used to make the tech free pigeon. That's why it's crucial to make those storages before the tech free pigeon. You can see how my energy bar is filling up, and now I can make the pigeon. Now you can see I'm using all my energy, and look at how much energy I have in my bar. Imagine if I only had 4K energy only. I would be stalling energy as we speak. Not something we want to happen. Pause some of the maxes here because I need this energy to finish my pigeon. And that's why I have to pause the maxes, even though I have the mass for it. Because I want to finish the pigeon before everything else. I have to rush this pigeon. I put everything into my pigeon. I pause everything else. I finish this max because 99%, but everything else remains paused. I'm just going all in, rushing my pigeon. And like you can see the time, it's not gonna be fast. It's gonna be slower than 830. And that's why I say that it's very hard to pull this PO if you're not used to it. Like my PO is already not perfect. It's just a demonstration. Like I have done it earlier before. I've done faster timings. It also depends on how much team overflow you're getting. The more overflow you get from the team, the faster your pigeon is. Because I'm not really getting overflow from my team, it's kind of hard to pull this off perfectly, you know? You can see now I'm gonna start to stall energy, so I have to pause some. It's inevitable. I have to unpause. I have to pretty much unpause everything except the maxes. I have to unpause everything that I'm making, including the maxes. And you can see I'm still stalling, so I still have to pause some. I can't stall here. And now, like, this is the most I can do. I cannot unpause any more engineers. You can see the air timing is not that fast. 9 minutes. Ideally, it should be 8 and 30. It should be 30 seconds faster. There are two reasons why my air timing was so slow. The first reason, I had no overflow from my team. I think that's the main reason. I might be wrong though. The second reason is my build was just not perfect. Maybe the order, something just didn't go right for me. Those are the two main reasons why it didn't work. The air timing wasn't as fast as it was supposed to be. But Like if you practice SBO, you can improvise by yourself, and over the time, the more you practice, maybe you can improve your timings, and But this is just a demonstration of how the BO works. Maybe there's a faster way, but this is how Nexus does it. The allegedly the best FAF player, and And yeah, this is the airrush version of this BO. If you can, this is a very hard BO to replicate, and air rushing is also very complicated as well. But this is just just a tutorial, just to show you guys. It's like better than nothing. And yeah, that's the video, guys. Thank you for watching. Maybe I can show a third variation that I know. There are actually a lot of variations, but there are three more variations that I like, that I mostly use, and I'm gonna be making a third video soon. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you learned something from this, and see you guys later.